Again, what's up? What's everyone? Yeah, what's everyone, guys? What's up, everybody? I'm not random chick Sadie's. How you doing? So, yes, I'm gonna tell y'all all the tea. I'm gonna spill the tea for you. I'm gonna tell you the drama that went down at this concert because there was a lot. It was a shame, and I'm sad to say that we're freaking trending on Twitter, and our Instagram, our Snapchat was super bad. This is why I cannot stand some people. I've got to say the only thing I did not enjoy for the concert, nothing to do with BTS or any of their staff. The only thing I didn't enjoy was a.r.m.y themselves that were standing. Freaking crazy psycho girls. I'm not even playing. Like, it got to the point where I was just like, I'm sick and tired and I don't want to be here because of these people. That was me until we got inside to the concert. But like prep time and waiting for it, I was just done with half of these people. I could not. So it starts off. Let's see. How does it go? So we weren't allowed to camp before the concert because they just wouldn't allow it. But the day of the concert, we get another email from the thing, and it's like, oh, camping is not recommended. So basically they went from you cannot camp to, oh, it's okay to camp, it's just not recommended. And by the time we got there, when the gates were actually supposed to open for us to officially start to line up, the people who camped there overnight, I swear, y'all just ruined everything for everyone. Like, not only that, they were so rude and disrespectful to the staff of BTS. Like, I got to talk to them and I was like, oh, so how are y'all? How are y'all enjoying everything? Everyone's not being too rude. I'm like asking them all these questions and stuff. And literally some of them were like, I hate this. Like, I absolutely hate this. I don't want to do this. And they're like, I'm glad that we are able to make things good for y'all, but like, I absolutely hate doing this. Like, some people are horrible. I was like, oh my gosh, that made me feel so bad. Because I'm like, one, we're supposed to be a.r.m.y and we're over here treating them like crap. And they help and work with BTS. So like, just disappointed in a.r.m.y in itself. Not all of them. No. Just the 1,500 people who caused all the drama in the morning. Those are the people I'm really disappointed in. So, when I say drama, I mean drama to where we had to have like 25 freaking police officers come, because that's how dramatic it got. So, with the people who camped overnight, they decided, hey, since we're camping here, we're going to number ourselves so we know who was here first when everyone starts to show up. So, these were unofficial numbers that they started. And by the time 8 o'clock rolled around, obviously more people showed up. So I get there 8:30. My friend got there at 8. And I saw her at the end of the GA line, which was, I was like, okay, cool. So I asked some of the staff people who were working, I was like, yo, hey, so we got some special tickets to go in early for sound check. Where do we go? And they were like, oh, well, you have to go to the P.O. box. So I'm like, okay, cool, great. So I tell her, and at the time her roommate was there too, so she was like, oh, it's okay, I'll hold the spot in line for y'all. Y'all can go ahead and like figure out what y'all are doing with the sound check and all that information, right? So as we're walking there, I'm asking every staff person to make sure, like, hey, we go over here for the sound check tickets, right? And they're like, yeah, you go over there, you go there, you go there. Like 6 people said that. So I was like, okay, great, cool, we're in the right direction. So we head over there, and the P.O. box is closed, and they're like, it's not gonna open until 1. I'm like, so you're telling me we have to stand here until 1 o'clock, even though they're giving out wristbands at 10 to get the sound check thing? And they were like, well, we actually don't know anything, nobody's told us any of this stuff. Like, yeah, the staff that worked at the convention as volunteers did not know squat at all. So I felt very bad for them because people were yelling and screaming at them, and they're like, how can you not know? Okay, you know, not everybody knows a lot of stuff, especially when y'all sit here and camp overnight and then expect them to know everything when they themselves show up at 8 o'clock to help work the event and nobody has told them yet because it's not officially open for the stuff. Like, chill out. No. This is why I got so upset. Like, freaking people were rude all day long. That was like the worst part of the concert, was the fans themselves. Like, I was like, I'm so sorry for all of this drama, for all of them. Like, I was apologizing to every worker I saw. They were like, thank you so much. That, like, really, I really appreciate that. I was like, y'all are just doing y'all's job. People, I cannot. And they're like, thank you so much. That really made my day. Like, I really appreciate that. I was like, it's okay. It's all good. So we get there and all these people are like hanging around and they're crowded around like the front entrance. And I'm like, already this is gonna be not okay because there's no line. Everybody's just huddled around this gate, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be a specific line that they're going to start for the wristbands. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stand to the back. So I go up to the event staff person. I'm like, hey, yeah, we were sent up here to get our stuff for sound check. Do you know where we're supposed to go, what line we're supposed to be in? And they're like, I have no idea what's going on. The best I could say is go to the P.O. box. And I was like, okay, cool, where's that? They're like, it's that door right there. So then I stood over there, and then a couple of people started coming, and they're like, hey, what are you waiting for? I was like, oh, well, I'm waiting for a sound check. So they're like, oh, we starting an unofficial line for sound check tickets and stuff like that. I was like, I guess so. So me and people who got the sound check, so other 500, slowly started to form a line. So there was about 20 of us standing in line off to the side, watching the chaos that went down, but at the time was about to go down. So we're like, okay, cool. It's 10 o'clock, and they're supposed to be handing out wristbands, but like nothing's happening. So finally, they pull out the tables. Like 3 police guards come up, and they're standing around the gates, and the event staff. Oh my gosh, they come out. Maybe I could enter a video. I might enter a video in between here. If I do have it, it'll pop up now. But yeah, they come up, and the event staff come out, and everyone finally hushes down. They stop talking, yelling, and all this stuff, and they're like, I don't know what you think you're doing. This is the event staff. They're like, I don't know what you think you're doing, but the line starts over there. So y'all need to go get in line. And like, told everybody to get off the gates and actually go to this point where it was the start of the line, right? So that everybody started pushing each other, trying to get into the line. And then they were like, parents, get out of the line, get out of the line. So it could like create more space or whatever. I have no idea. And so they start pushing each other. They were like telling each other to scoot back. And I was like, first of all, you know people aren't about to scoot back. So if you're not in line, you're going to end up going to the end of the line. So I'm over here watching this chaos start to go down. I'm like, I'm laughing at this point because I'm like, y'all were not in line. So y'all have to like struggle to get in line. And I'm over here, I don't really care right now because I'm just like, you know what, whatever. And at this point in time, my friend was like, hey, my roommate has to leave. So I'll go ahead and go hold our spot in the GA line so we can get our wristbands. I was like, okay, cool. Go ahead and do that. I'll hold our spot right here for the sound check. And she's like, okay. And so, oh my gosh. So she goes, and then all of a sudden, after my friend left, my gosh. Like, I laugh at it, but I'm like still disappointed. Like, I'm really highly disappointed. Parents and all these girls start screaming and yelling because apparently they're not in line. So they're like, back up, and all this stuff. And I'm over here. Oh my gosh. And then me and the people standing in the sound check line are like, I'm so glad I don't have to deal with that, because half of them were all seated, and so they had their own numbers. They didn't have to like first come first serve like the GA people like us. So I was like, oh man, I wish that was me at this point, because now I have to be able to go stand in that line in order to get this. And I'm like, I'm not looking forward to getting in that line. But the reason why I wasn't looking forward to it was because the people who camped overnight freaking ruined everything, like I said, decided to number themselves. So they were like, people are cutting in line, people are cutting in line. And so the staff people are like, they just stopped for a moment and they were like, we have numbers, we have numbers. So they were like, okay, fine. If you don't have a number, get out of the line and go to the end of the line. And some people, I felt bad for like one girl, because she was like, I was here for 2 days. I had a number. It washed off. I was like, first of all, why are y'all camping out for 2 freaking days? Ridiculous. But so many people got kicked out of the line because they didn't have a number. But this was unofficial numbering, so it shouldn't have even had a number. That's what made me mad at the first place, because I'm like, because of y'all, this will be relevant later on in the story. Because of them, a lot of stuff went down. So all these people were yelling and screaming. Parents were screaming at police officers because of this too. And I'm over here, oh my gosh, stop being rude to them. Like, and this girl had the nerve to come over to our line. And I was like, oh my gosh, if this girl comes up over here and says anything to us about standing over here in this line, we're going to fight. Because I'm not about to deal with this drama of numbers and crap when everyone got here at 8 o'clock like we were supposed to. And y'all decided to camp out when you weren't supposed to. So then they come over, what is this line for? Sound check. So go back to your line. They're like, and walked away. I was like, you better walk away. Swear to God, if someone comes over here, you need a number. We're gonna fight. Because we ain't starting this unofficial numbering stuff all over again. So then it got so out of hand trying to kick people out of the line because they didn't have a number that they had to call the police. And that's why it's, like I said, 25 police officers were kicking people out. So then after they kicked people out and they were getting set up for the tickets, oh my gosh. Again, so I'm over here. We don't know any information about sound check or the GA ticket. So I was like, do we need our wristband for the GA in order to get our sound check thing? Because I know it was based off the ticket number, but the wristband has nothing to do with our ticket number. So I was like trying to find someone who knew the information for that. But again, like I said, no one knew anything. So I'm over here standing in line, and they start handing out the wristbands. And I'm like, So I'm communicating with my friend. I'm like, hey, yeah, if we have to have our wristband, I'll let you know. Like, I'll get you more information on that. So I tried to go over to one of the staff people handing out the wristbands. And this police officer starts yelling at me. And he's like, get away. No more questions for any of the staff members. Y'all need to get out of here. And I'm like, I just have a question. He said, no more questions. I'm like, oh my God, okay. So then we walked out and he's like, don't even try asking other people. I'm like, oh my gosh. So literally he turned his back and I go up to another person. I'm like, hey, I am so sorry people are being so rude, but that line that's over there is for sound check. And we were just wondering like one question, and it's just a yes or no question. If you know, like, I'd be very grateful if you like just told me this so I could get out of here, because I don't want to be around any more of this drama. And they were like, oh sure honey, what's the problem? I was like, do you know if we need to have our wristband for the GA if we're standing in order to get the sound check? And they were like, let me go ask on that, because I know it's gonna, a couple of people are gonna start asking about that. I was like, thank you. So then a lady comes out and she's wearing an official BTS staff like lanyard and everything, not the yellow event staff people who work at the convention. No, like an official person. Bless her heart. Like, I was thanking her so much because that was the only person I listened to the entire time we were at the concert. But she comes out and I was like, hey, quick question. Do we have to have our GA wristbands in order to get the like sound check stuff? She's like, no, you're not required to have it, but it's highly recommended, because 30 minutes after they started handing out this, they started the sound check one. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna stay in line so I can get a good number on my sound check thing. So then I was like, okay, cool. So we get the sound check band, and I call my friend. I'm like, hey girl, come get in line for your sound check stuff. The line is moving pretty fast. They started it. She's like, oh, okay. By the time she got over there, the people who were in line with me had already gone through that was holding the spot. And I was like, no. Ugh. And so eventually, me and another person who were waiting in line for sound check were like, yo, we got spots saved for the GA. Do you just want to come with me? And I was like, heck yeah. So got this right after I got the sound check one. And I was like, okay, cool, great. That works for me. But like the complications of all that because of people sitting there numbering, that's what caused a lot of problems. Because again, I was talking to the official lady who came out. I don't want to say her name because, you know, I'm not going to give out names. Let's call her... Ooh, I'm going to call her English name because that's not her real name. Amy over here was so helpful. I thank her so much, and bless her heart for having to travel around and deal with rude people. But I was like, so how are you? How's everything going? People aren't giving you too much trouble and all that. She was like, no, I've had a couple of rude people come up and yell at me for no reason, talking about like, oh, if we have numbers that we weren't given numbers when we showed up, so they kicked us out of the line and all this other stuff. And I was like, yeah, we weren't given numbers. And she was like, what? I was like, we weren't given numbers either. She was like, huh. I was like, because those numbers were unofficial numberings by the fans themselves. So she just looks at me. She's like, really? Huh. So I got yelled at for no reason. I was like, I'm so sorry. And she's like, and now they're over here. Well, y'all want numbers? Well, we're going to go by numbers now. So every sound, like everything that had a number on it, we had to follow by because of people who freaking started numbering. So whatever you do, 1, don't be rude to the staff. And 2, do not start numbering because it's a first come, first serve thing. And y'all ruined everything. Because when it got to sound check, they were like, hey, line up by your number. I was number 13 because, you know, 13 out of 500. I stood in the line. I was number 13. So I was pretty good. I was the first one to enter in. We were the first group to enter in. It was great for sound check. But, yeah, after that point, when it got to actually entering for the concert, we didn't get to enter really quickly because they were like, oh, well, you guys we're gonna go in by the number that's on your wristband. So the SKU number, that's what number in line you are to enter. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? I'm number 883. And then it started pouring and we had to stand out in the rain. And I'm over here, all because of these people. We have to wait in line by number to enter. When literally they were like, get your wristbands and go because we are going to open the gates at 5:30. Yeah, we couldn't enter. We got in, I think, 30 minutes before the concert actually started. So it took us 2 hours to get to number 800 and we still had thousands to get through. And I was like, oh my gosh, it was horrible. All because people freaking started numbering. So do not do that. The fans ruined the whole concert, in my opinion. That was the worst thing I've ever gone through for concerts. Just disappointed. Everybody, but aren't you a.r.m.y yourself? No, I don't want to be a part of it if people are going to be like that. And they were literally like, y'all need to love and support each other. And I'm like, yes, BTS, please explain that to them because obviously they don't understand. And if you look on Twitter and you see the crazy girl yelling, yeah, that was basically what it was like this morning. But imagine like 500 other people to 1,000 other people yelling as well. Could not. So after we dealt with all that numbering stuff and we got all of the information that we needed, things got a little better. Got out of line, got away, didn't have to deal with people. It was great. Made new friends. It was so much fun. And then we went in for sound check, which you saw in the other video. So now I'm gonna end this one, and there's gonna be a part 2 to this video because I don't want it being too long. So Go check it out. Like, subscribe, stick around for more, especially for the concert videos. Peace, guys.